Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 5th of March 2019, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a look at the markets, a few charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so now then let's jump into the charts. So now the first one I want to touch on here is Nasdaq100. Now looking at this index and looking at this 4-hour chart, yesterday it closed slightly in the negative territory. Let me just double check that, confirm that. Yeah, absolutely. And basically what we're going to be looking at here is we're going to hold on. We're going to hold it with the upside for now. Basically, we're going to keep a close eye on some of these key support and resistance levels. So basically, on the downside, if this decides to continue traveling further down and breaks below the 7,100 level, now this is where it could become more exciting for the bears, as we could see this index sliding further down. Now on the downside here, we do have the, of course, the psychological 7,000 level. Let me just quickly put that on our charts here. So it's near the lows of the 21st of February. So this is something that we're going to be keeping a close eye on. But if that fails to withhold, then yep, further declines are possible. And like I said, looking at this 4-hour chart, we could maybe see a retest of the 200 EMA, which is shown here as the black line. So for now, guys, certainly continue observing some of these key areas of support. And like I said, specifically the 7,100 level. If we do get a nice break below that, this could also place the index below the 21 EMA, shown here as the yellow line. So this way, this would create even more negativity, maybe at least for the short term. And we could see this one, like I said, sliding further down. On the upside here, well, we would like to see a good push above the 7,205 level before we could get excited with the upside. And on the upper end here, we would like to see a test of the 7,310 level. So the 7,310 could be that next potential area of resistance. Which marks here the high, which is actually near the highs of the 17th of October. So that's why, guys, long story short, for now we're gonna continue just observing some of these key areas of resistance and support. So on the upside is the 7,205 level, which could potentially open the path out. Let me just get this out of the way a little bit. So if we do get a nice good push above the 7,205 level, then yep, we are going to be targeting the 7,310, the high of the 17th of October last year. But if this decides to now travel lower and breaks below the 7,100 level, now this is where you should become, or should I say the bulls should become a little bit more cautious, as we could see the index sliding further down towards the psychological 7,000 level. And if we do see a test of the 7,000 level, then we'll just take it from there, because further declines could lead towards the 200 EMA here on the 4-hour chart, or even lower. But for now, we're just going to play it short and simple. A break below the 7,100 could potentially lead towards the psychological 7,000 level. Looking at platinum now, this is one of my favorite precious metals. Basically, I was talking about this one yesterday and a few times over the past or the past few weeks, basically. So after we've managed to break below the 860 level, we've managed to actually travel all the way lower here, and this is the level that I was talking about to keep a close eye on, the 831 zone. You can see that it dropped lower. It almost tested that level, from which it reversed back to the upside, so it's currently kind of stuck here, just between the 850 and the 831 levels. To be honest, if this continues to struggle to overcome the 831 level, now what we could see maybe is that we could see more bulls jumping in here, potentially driving this one higher. Now for those who are more on the cautious side, you could in a way wait until we see a push above the 850 level, and only then we will target higher areas. If we do see a drop below the 831, still not probably not all is lost for the bulls yet, because excuse me, we could see this one, this commodity getting held here near this 200 EMA, shown here as the black line, which is around the 825 level. So but if that fails to withhold, then yep, further declines are possible. But for now guys, of course, keep your eyes on the 831. Like I said, if this if the commodity struggles to overcome this, or break below this level, then yep, we could see a push higher here. And just to kind of show you that, or even remind you guys that a nice good push above the 850 level, of course, could potentially lead this one back towards the 860 level, but a break above that could retest this downside resistance line. And for this one, I need to jump back into the daily here, and this is the line that I'm talking about, basically, that this has been running here from August 2011. So keep your eyes on that one. This could be a nice potential area for a test, but if that fails to withhold, then yep, further acceleration to the upside could be possible as well. But again, for us now, we would like, for a better confirmation, we would like to see a push back above the 850 level before we could assume this upside scenario. Jumping into one of the cryptos here, and Ripple. So basically, over the past couple of hours, cryptos are getting a nice boost here. And looking at Ripple's 4-hour chart here, you can see that the crypto managed to rebound from this lower side of the rising channel formation that that Ripple is within right now, is trading within. Certainly for now, this nice good pop above the 0.3145 level, of course, creates a bigger chance of seeing this one traveling further up here. Now the next potential area of resistance that we're keeping a close eye on here is around the 0.3320 level. If this fails to withhold, now this marks the high of the 1st of March, but if it fails to withhold, now this could be quite interesting, because we could see further acceleration to the upside, where we could then target 0.3425 or even higher. But for now guys, we're just going to go step by step. For now, you can see that this is what's happening. Now in a way, you could just to kind of just to have something on your chart, you could in a way draw this downside resistance line just for today, basically, just to see how the crypto is going to perform around it. If this is going to remain above this this downside resistance line, certainly this could add that a bit of more confidence for the bulls in order to kind of drive this crypto higher. But if this decides to reverse back down and closes, for example, the daily candle closes below this downside resistance line, now this is where it could be a bit tricky for the bulls, because this is still gonna be our little neutral territory. Because for us, let's say, to consider lower levels, we would like to see a nice good, initially of course, a nice good drop below the below this lower bound of the rising channel formation, but also actually a break below the 0.3050 level, which you can see that how well it played out as a nice area of support here from starting from the 10th of February. So that's why we would only on the break of that level we'll consider further declines here or even lower levels. So but for now, guys, it seems that the downside could be slightly off the table. Of course, the day is not finished yet, but continue monitoring this little tentative downside resistance line, and of course some of the key areas of resistance. Now, one of these could be this little area around here, around this high, which we saw around the 3rd of March, and that high is around the 0.3230 level. So basically, just for additional confirmation, a nice good push above that could lead towards the 0.3320 zone. So for now, guys, be very careful with this one. Certainly this is looking somewhat more bullish than bearish, but again, let's say, like I said, the day is not finished yet, and let's see how this performs by the end of today. Jumping into EURJPY, now this is a very interesting one, and overall, of course, we are still climbing higher, trading above this upside support line, in a way a bit of a tentative one. You can see that we had a bit of a break here on around the mid-February, but you can see that the rate quickly got back above it and continued to trade above this upside support line that has been running from the lows of the 3rd of January. So what you can see right now here is, from the very short-term perspective today especially, you can see that it's struggling to overcome its pivot, which is around the 126.86 level approximately there. It's struggling to overcome that, and now kind of reversed. It's pointing lower basically. So of course it could travel lower, it could eventually test this upside support line again, but to be honest, from the very short-term perspective, where we're going to look at here is if we see a drop below the 126.50 level. Now this is where we will aim for lower levels. This could confirm a forthcoming lower low from the short-term perspective here, and like I said, then we will target this upside support line. Till then, we will kind of remain more neutral, but like I said, we'll continue observing some of these key support levels, one of which is this 126.50 level that I've just mentioned. On the upside, we need to see a nice good push back above the 127 level, and only then we will aim for higher levels again, at least towards these February highs, which were February highs, March highs, the 1st of March highs, which were around the 127.50. A nice good push above that could lead this pair towards higher levels. But for now, guys, basically you can see that this is what's happening. It seems that it wants to reverse lower, but before we get comfortable with the downside, further declines, of course, we would like to see a drop below the 126.50 level, and only then we will target slightly lower areas. Jumping into last pair I wanted to quickly touch on, and that's USDCHF. Now, looking at this nice beautiful chart here, you can see that after falling and reaching the 0.9920 level here on the 28th of February, the pair reversed higher, and now it seems that it's trying to climb further up here. Now it's testing, well, it's near this 1.0015 level. Of course, it got above the psychological 1 level, and now it's kind of aiming for this 1.0015 level. Now basically a nice good pop above that could, of course, open the path towards slightly higher levels. This is where we will target this little high that we saw here back on the 19th of February, which was near the 1.0060. But if that fails to withhold, then further acceleration to the upside is possible. But for now, we're just going to continue monitoring this 1.0015 level. Like I said, a nice good pop above this could lead this pair a little bit higher. And for now, you can see that since its reversal here on the 28th of March, 28th of February, it continued to create these higher lows. So let's see if it manages to create a higher high by breaking this 1.0015 level. So keep your eyes on that one. If this suddenly reverses back down, now for us, in order to kind of consider let's say lower levels from the very short-term perspective, Of course, we would like to see a drop below the area here. Initially, of course, dropping below the psychological 1 level, but for just better confirmation, a nice good drop below the 0.9980 level, something like that, approximately there. This could potentially open the path towards these recent lows here near the 0.9950, or even actually going all the way towards the 0.9920 again. But for now, it seems that the downside is slightly off the table. We are trading above the pivot, and we are close to the R1, but we're also close to this key area of resistance near the 1.0015. A nice good push above that could open the path towards higher levels. Okay guys, I hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening and staying behind. But if you want to join me tomorrow morning at my Traders Espresso, and that's 7 o'clock GMT time. But for now, I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.